Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Ripple has reported that they have sold in Q2 of this year $408 million worth of XRP. Now, mind you, they also purchase XRP, so if you take the total purchases and you take the total sales, the difference between them resulted in sales of $408 million. And why was there this uptick? Because there was, if you compare from Q2 to Q1, there was a pretty notable uptick. And why was that? Well, I'll just tell you here at the outset. It's because on-demand liquidity adoption is increasing and at breakneck pace, frankly. So what I did is I went ahead and printed up the Q2 markets, XRP markets report, what's on your screen here, and I highlighted the parts that I found to be most fascinating. Some of it's a bit dry, so I'm just going to skip over large chunks of it, but I'm going to share with you the parts that I found, like I said, most interesting. I think you're going to be confident, let's say, once this is all said and done. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice. And you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Now, upon news of this breaking, the 408 million in sales from Ripple, XRP, in Q2 this year, Attorney John Deaton said the following, so I thought I'd actually start the video with this because it's so interesting the way that the SEC approaches all of this. And Attorney Deaton earlier today wrote the following: "Never before has a regulator claimed an asset, XRP, is illegal per se, no matter who sells it, and it allows the entity it sued, which is Ripple, to sell that allegedly illegal asset, XRP, to help pay for very high-priced lawyers," Mary Jo White being one of them, he cites in parentheses there, "to help win the case versus the regulator. Now, if the regulator, the SEC, truly believed the asset was per se illegal, it would have sought a preliminary injunction to stop the ongoing illegal sales, i.g. the Telegram case. It also wouldn't let the co-founder, Jed McCaleb, make $3 billion selling the illegal asset since filing the case." So just pause to sit here and think about this. The SEC didn't think that it would have gone well for them had they sought such an injunction. That's what I think. And so rather than risk that and have egg on their face, they just allowed Ripple to continue selling. These people are completely disingenuous. They are terrible creatures. And then Attorney Deaton also says, question: "Why would the regulator allow the company to break the law on an ongoing basis to make money to help pay defeat the regulator in order to break the law forever?" Answer: it wouldn't. It almost makes it seem like filing the case was the objective, not winning the case. Yeah, and so I still think strongly, I feel very strongly about this, that settlement's going to be on the table. And the SEC, no matter how firm they've made their positions known, and whatever conversation they had with Ripple behind closed doors, which didn't result to an initial settlement, I still think the SEC understands what's most likely here, because they have such a flimsy case, is settlement. They're just seeing how much they can get away with. And so part of that was going through the discovery process and, find out what the other side has first. There's all sorts of other developments that have happened pre-trial, which I've been talking about, covering, everyone in the community's been talking about. So we'll see what happens there. But let's go ahead and jump into this now. And it was interesting, too, on the first page here. Well, for me, it's a page because I printed this. They're not numbered here on the website. But on the first page, right in the middle of the... Where is it? Yeah, right... Oh, damn it. I'm trying to go along for those of you looking at the screen, and now I'm just losing the spot. That's not what I was trying to highlight, was it? You know what? It doesn't matter. It's lined up differently the way that it's printed here. That's why I'm having trouble. The format's literally different on my printed page. Anyway, but that's the part that I wanted to share with you. This is interesting because Ripple basically stated something that I've been saying on my videos where I talk about price. I say it so frequently, and it's so damn true, and it's why I just don't get fearful at all. Because the price action that we're seeing with XRP and with crypto doesn't have anything to do with long-term viability, which is the other way to say it doesn't have anything to do with fundamentals. It's just people emotionally buying and selling. And so here's what they wrote. According to data from skew.com, Bitcoin's 30-day correlation with the S&P 500 rose to a new 4-year high of 82% during this period, so that'd be Q2, breaking previous highs of 77%. What have I been saying, folks? So even Ripple knows that crypto follows the stock market. And so that's why, like, when I frequently say it doesn't make sense to have an emotional response to the price of XRP going down or Bitcoin going down or pick your crypto. This is what I'm talking about. Ripple knows it. There's no reason to be fearful here, not at this particular juncture in time. That's my opinion anyway. And then go down a little bit further here. The NFT stuff I find to be very fascinating because, and I've said this a fair number of times recently too, all we need in order for XRP to be viable long-term is the adoption of one particular use case. And there are multiple use cases right now. So in the NFT space, take a look at this. They wrote the following. Last quarter, French luxury fashion house Balmain announced a global partnership with Mint NFT to kickstart its brand in the metaverse. Together, they are bringing the first fashion NFTs to the carbon-neutral XRP ledger. In addition, iconic British performance car brand Lotus partnered with NFT Pro to bring automotive NFTs to XRP ledger. The partnership marks the car brand's debut in the Web3 space by creating a community that merges Lotus customers, automotive enthusiasts, NFT collectors, and crypto fans. Then a little bit lower, I think it would, yeah, here we go. Oh yeah, it's right here actually. XLS20 update. Now this is the big one because this will add additional functionality, and I really hope this passes unless there's some legit reason that the other validators in the community think that it's actually going to be detrimental or too dangerous or something. Outside of that, I don't know why you wouldn't pass it, because you're talking about for many people, it will just be completely ridiculous to even consider using a different platform because transactions will effectively be free and there will be settlement with finality like in real time. It's instantaneous. So if you're talking about serious adoption of NFTs just on the planet over the long haul, XRP Ledger suddenly becomes very appealing if this amendment is passed, the XLS20 update, which reads as follows. Ripple upgraded its servers to version 1.9.1 of Ripple, the reference implementation of the XRP Ledger protocol, and configured its 4 validators to vote in favor of activating the XLS20 amendment on XRPL mainnet. In line with the company's previous comments on performance and scalability, Ripple conducted extensive testing to ensure that the proposed NFT code is stable, scalable, and performant in the face of the additional transaction volume anticipated by native on-ledger support for NFTs. As a result, Ripple believes that the XRP ledger can support the extra transaction load at scale. So I'll just say, suck it, Ethereum. And now check this out, because what type of functionality are we talking about here? Well, Ripple cites it. Ripple proposed XLS20 to introduce native NFT support to the XRP ledger and provide developers access to NFT minting, trading, and burning functionalities. XLS20 would also bring advanced features like automatic royalties, co-ownership of assets, and more without the need for smart contracts. So look, that's one of the things that I think is going to, if you just let time pass, fast forward a decade or two, once you have serious adoption of NFTs, because the NFTs are not going away. They're more, at least they can be more, than just really overpriced JPEGs, okay? You can actually do stuff. So what I'm anticipating is going to be heavy usage in terms of NFTs moving forward would be automatic royalties. If you're a content creator, whether maybe you're a painter, maybe you're a blogger, maybe you make videos all up on the YouTubes or whatever it is. If you're going to sell something, it doesn't even have to be YouTube, but you know what I'm saying. Royalties, for sale of it's just there's so many things that you can do with this, and it functionally would work with the XRP ledger. It's just a messy process of people in the world of crypto coming up with a bunch of creative ideas and seeing what actually sticks. So that's why I tend to just say, like, anytime somebody has an idea, just like throw it at the wall, see what sticks, basically, because most ideas are terrible and they won't be here long term, but that's okay. It's just a messy process. Just like the vast majority of the .coms from a couple decades ago, they went out of business. But you got to try stuff, and then the stuff that sticks, it's life changing, So this is going to be gigantic as far as I'm concerned. Let me fast forward a little bit further here. Yes, here we go. Let's get to the on-demand liquidity stuff. This is probably my favorite part of this particular report here, which isn't going to be particularly surprise anybody, I don't think, but because this is real world out. So again, this is another use case. So I'm hoping the NFT stuff works out. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. It will. Just the space in general. Will the adoption take place on the XRP ledger? I have no idea. I hope so. I think that there's a shot, especially if this amendment is accepted by validators on the network, but we'll see here. Either way, on-demand liquidity, this one's growing massively. Check this out. Fincy leverages on-demand liquidity. Ripple enters new market. Ripple announced a partnership with Fincy, a Lithuanian money transfer provider, to deliver instant and cost-effective retail remittances and business-to-business payments using on-demand liquidity, which leverages XRP for crypto-enabled cross-border payments. Fincy is Ripple's first customer in Lithuania, and the partnership represents the opening up of a new market for on-demand liquidity, enabling Fincy's customers to make seamless payments between Europe and Mexico. Now check out this. This is amazing adoption. And that's why it's to me it seems obvious. And maybe I'm wrong, but to me it seems so obvious that this is an application and adoption of XRP that's here to stay because there's no other solution. If you're talking about the train wreck that is global cross-border payments, the only solution that humans have devised requires the use of a decentralized cryptocurrency that is an open market price and is technologically sufficient to quickly move, settle with finality, all that. And XRP is the only cryptocurrency that's being positioned for this use case. And so knowing that is the case, it's not surprising to me to see the massive adoption of on-demand liquidity and thus XRP as a result. And given that's the case, we really see this happening. I don't think XRP is going away, which is why at some point in the future when fundamentals matter sufficiently, and they don't right now, the whole market just moves together. But when you finally parse out the difference as the market matures, parse out the differences between cryptocurrencies, why would XRP go away? Which is why I feel very confident having my investment in XRP personally. And if I'm wrong, fine, maybe it all goes away and goes to zero. I just don't see that happening right now based on all publicly available information. So check this out. Q2 2022 was a record quarter for on-demand liquidity as volume grew considerably with 9x year-over-year growth. Customers continued to expand the use of on-demand liquidity for use cases beyond traditional remittances or individual payments, with treasury flows and bulk payments accounting for more volume on the network. Folks, think about this. XRP being adopted in the real world, 9x year-over-year. 9x. That is astonishing. And so I think that the pace of this adoption, it's just going to at some point hit a clip where it's just so outrageously exponential, it's going to melt faces. And then eventually the market will mature and people are going to bounce. We are just so early. I thank my lucky stars that I came across XRP when I did back in 2017. And fine, we haven't seen a new all-time high yet, but this asset class is in such a nascent state. It's not surprising to me, and I don't care. I'm a very patient man. I am so thankful I came across this when I did, because if this goes away, anticipate, this is going to be life-changing for so many people. And so we need to let time pass, and we'll see. Don't want to sound like I'm getting ahead of myself, but I think it's reasonable to be thinking about this and discussing this. Hell yeah. Anyway, they continue. Last quarter, total XRP sales by Ripple, net of purchases, were $408.9 million versus $273.27 million United States dollars the previous quarter. Ripple has continued to engage in sales solely related to on-demand liquidity, and these volumes have ramped up substantially as Ripple's on-demand liquidity business expanded globally. And so you can see the numbers are actually on your screen here. So again, if you take the difference between what Ripple bought and what they sold, that's where they get that 408.9 million number, which is up quite a bit from the previous quarter, but it's because there's actual adoption here. And so even if you look at it as a total percentage of sales for XRP globally, it's almost nothing. Look here. Let me see if I can highlight this whole thing here. Look at that row I'm highlighting if you're looking at your screen. Net sales as percent of total volume. So last quarter, Ripple's sales accounted for 0.29% of total volume. That's it. Way less than 1%, less than a third of a percent. And then in Q2 this year, it was at 0.47%. So up a little bit, but minuscule. And that's why I keep telling you, if you're talking about that, that is not enough volume to, in any sort of noticeable way, impact the global price of XRP. It's not noticeable because it's such a tiny percent of volume. And then what do you think is going to happen? That's why, to the people that have a problem, and it's mostly just XRP haters and the Bitcoin maxi trolls, the people that have a problem with Ripple selling, I'm like, dude, if you look in terms of dollars and percent, the amount of new XRP entering the ecosystem, if you want to call it that, technically all XRP has already been issued, but even if you're going to pretend like it's not, the amount of Bitcoin in terms of percent in dollars, that's greater what you get from miners. So this is not something that is going to horrifically suppress the price of XRP globally unless they do something that I would, you talk about dumping endlessly every single bit, every escrow that comes out. Okay, fine. Maybe that would do something. I'd have to see I have to crunch numbers, see what the percentage is. And then maybe if they're acting like a bad stakeholder, you can imagine what the validators might do to respond to that. I've talked about that before too. It wouldn't be pretty for Ripple. So I'm not worried about that either. And as long as they're acting in good faith here, and they certainly seem to be, cool. Let them get theirs too, because that will help us to get ours. Doesn't it seem obvious? I don't care about this at all. I'm just saying. So I think it's the coolest damn thing here. And they wrote also here, all on-demand liquidity related sales are attributed to growth and adoption of on-demand liquidity. So there you go. All these new customers, all this increased adoption is because the use case for XRP here makes actual sense. It's one of the only areas in all of crypto where a problem is actually being solved. Money's going to follow this. I firmly believe that. It's good stuff here. So despite all the nonsense with the SEC and the scary things, blah, 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 fine. The uncertainty, and the tumult in global markets in various asset classes. Okay, fine. I just don't think it's going to matter. That stuff's going to get straightened out. That always happens. There are rough economic patches, then there are long periods of time where things are all swell and good and hunky-dory and all that crap. I see a very rosy future. Let me know what you think, but I'll go ahead and wrap up here. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.